Space Marine 1 has been a special game for me ever since its launch all the way back in 2011. The chance to not only finally play as a Space Marine in video game form, but also customize your own personal Space Marine and find other players with theirs was pretty much the best thing ever to me at the time. Not too long ago, I was watching the Warhammer Skulls livestream with some mates, and we were absolutely soy-jacking over not only the remaster for the original Dawn of War, another game that is dear to me, but also the original Space Marine. I've always had a huge soft spot for Space Marine 1's PvP multiplayer, and in many ways, I think it outshined Space Marine 2's offering, but that's a topic for a different day. So I was happy to hear that not only was multiplayer returning, which isn't a given for every remaster, but also it would feature improved anti-cheat and crossplay between PC and Xbox Series X and S, meaning not only can I don't have to play with Russian hackers, I can actually get to play with a revitalized player base. But, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's not all sunshine and roses. I feel I should preface this review by saying while yes, this is a poor remaster, this isn't one of those remasters that destroys the original visual direction, and that's so bad it's genuinely worth holding off playing the game entirely until you can play the original. So if you're playing on an Xbox for the first time, don't feel bad for either buying this or just playing it at no extra cost on Game Pass to experience this amazing game. So to start off with the positives, the game does have some technical improvements, such as not being limited to explicit full screen and having higher quality textures. The control scheme for both mouse and keyboard and controller has been brought in line with Space Marine 2's more modern control scheme. While the OG control scheme wasn't bad at all, it's a lot more intuitive to press the middle mouse button to aim down sights instead of giving my pinky finger a workout by hitting left control. And the controller side of things placement of aim down sights button has also... And the controller side of things, the placement of the aim down sights button has also been changed from pressing down the right thumbsticks by just hitting the left trigger. And the idea of hitting down the right stick to ADS may sound stupid to some of you Zoomers. Bear in mind that many popular games had aim down sights being bound to pushing down the right stick that came out around the same time in that kind of generation as the first Space Marine. I mean, games such as Halo, Killzone, and Haze. Anyways, jokes aside, a few changes are welcome. However, it's a time to address the slugger boy in the woodpile. One of the biggest slaps in the face with this remaster is the fact that Sega is expecting me to pay £35 or $40 in the US for this game when I already own the original. I bought the original before it was the anniversary edition, so I only got it for like £5 on sale. Sure, they did bump up the price later with an edition that includes all the DLC. I don't personally agree with that. They should have left the price the same and just give you the DLC for free. It was a 10-year-old game at that point, but that's another topic. Seriously, so it's £5 more or dollars expensive for this remastered version, but what are you getting? Higher quality textures? That's about it really, because there's a lot wrong with this new version. A lot of the weapons sounds have been changed, unfortunately, and one of the victims of this is the iconic bolter. They changed the sound where the original sound was good and perfectly fine. It wasn't intrusive and it's what it needed to be. Whereas the new sound is, I'm pretty sure taken from those Space Marine 2 cutscenes. It's too loud, it's too bassy. And in my opinion, it has the same issue as the audio design approach difference between Bungie Halo and 343 Halo. Whereas Bungie focused more on the gun audio being a nice, balanced sound. You could tell a gunshot was firing, but it wasn't too loud. And when multiple guns were firing, such as a gas rifle, it wasn't at all intrusive, and it kind of blended into the background in a good way. Whereas 343 audio for Halo 4 and Halo 5 is very loud and punchy, and in a vacuum sounds perfectly fine. But when you have multiple of the same guns firing at once, it's very abrasive, to say the least. Another thing that has been completely butchered with this remaster is the UI. It's terrible. It's deplorable. It's bad in almost every way it could be. The original Space Marines UI was fairly intuitive, and it aged fairly well. Not only is the style quite good, but it's also fairly good to navigate. See here in this clip, I'm going to navigate to my character's helmet and change the helmet color to red. Specifically red ink I'm going to choose. And as you can see for Space Marine 1, I just navigate through here, select the helmet, and then go to red colors, and then select the one labeled red ink. And as you can see, all the colors here are given names, and they're all in their own little sections to describe what kind of color there are, such as red colors, cold colors. Here I'm going to do the same thing, and you can probably tell already that the UI here is it's just messy and overly complicated while also being overly simplified. Not only has this visual style been gone and looked like it can be dropped in any game, but also it's just a pain to navigate. And see, I'm going to try and find this shade of red ink, but, well, as you can see, I'm kind of fumbling around for the colors. They're all just kind of mushed together in a very unintuitive way. Why did this change need to be made? There's no reason for it. The original user interface was perfectly fine. And this change goes beyond just the menus. It also changes a lot of the in-game UI, such as weapon selection and dialogue pop-ups whenever a character is speaking over the radio. I've seen there's also been a good amount of, not quite fear-mongering, but people being audibly concerned. Both the Space Marine 1 remaster and the Dawn of War 1 remaster got announced literally at the same time in the same showcase. So people are concerned that both of them being classic relic games, that the state of the Space Marine remaster dictates what the quality of the Dawn of War 1 remaster is going to be. And I can tell you for a fact, no it doesn't. The Space Marine 1 remaster has been handled by Sega, mainly by a company that Sega has contracted out to go do it. Whereas the Dawn of War 1 remaster is being done in-house at Relic by Relic developers. Not only that, developers that worked on the original Dawn of War 1 all the way back in 2004, 11 years ago. All the way back in 2004, 21 years ago. And we already know that the Dawn of War remaster not only is much more of an upgrade than the Space Marine remaster, so a good point to make about the original state of Dawn of War 1 is that it doesn't even support modern resolutions. Dawn of War 1, the original release, and Winter Assault do not support 16:9 aspect ratios out of the box. You either have to modify it or skew it in some kind of way, and it's, in that bit it's not up to modern standards. And on top of that, even with Dark Crusade and Soulstorm, who do support 16:9 natively, they do not support modern resolutions. And by modern resolutions, I mean 1080p. The text is tiny if you've got a reasonably sized monitor. And God forbid you try to play the game at 4K. Not only has Relic proved that it is a much more substantial remaster than the Space Marine 1 Mastercrafted Edition, and it is much more in need of a remaster. Not only this, they've also confirmed that owners of the original Dawn of War 1 will be getting a discount at launch and for the rest of the game's lifecycle. Not only is this the case, Relic has said they are working with modders to make sure that the most popular mods, so think Ultimate Apocalypse and Unification, work with this new edition. Not only that, they may even be receiving enhancements for the new edition. This level of community engagement is what I miss from classic Relic before they were acquired by Sega. And now that they are free from Sega, I'm so happy to see that they're falling back into what made them popular and gain this fan base in the first place. Sega knows that this remaster is not good. They have proved this by, within the first month of the remaster being released, they were offering a 2-week period where owners of the original Space Marine could buy the Mastercrafted Edition for 50% off, which should just be the case anyways, regardless of time period, but whatever. And if you already own Mastercrafted Edition, you can claim a full refund regardless of playtime. This is full-on damage control by Sega. It's just spectacular how much this has blown up in their faces. But also it makes me sad because now they're going to look at the Space Marine IP that they have and just think it's not worth investing in. I hope that the team that's working on Space Marine 1 Mastercrafted Edition is going to put in the effort to revert the UI back to the original UI and give it as a free upgrade for owners who already own the original on PC. This is not an unrealistic standard to hold for a little remaster like this, which is literally just improved textures, crossplay, and enhanced full screen with some bad changes like the new weapon audio and the new user interface. It could have been an update or a separate version. We've seen other games do a similar thing. For example, we have Gears of War 1 Reloaded, which is a remaster of Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition, which is a remake of Gears of War 1 back in 2006. A bit of a trail there, but whatever. The point I'm saying is that owners of Ultimate Edition get the Reloaded for free, which I am an owner of Ultimate Edition, so I have Gears of War Reloaded for free. I was going to buy it anyways, but it's so nice that Microsoft just gave me a free copy for being a legacy customer. Props to them. Or while not the best remaster, we've seen the Stalker original trilogy receive enhanced editions, which were given for free to owners of the original trilogy, which GSC Game World are an independent company. They didn't have to do that. They could have made it a £5 upgrade, or what they're doing with Space Marine and telling you to buy the game again, but they didn't. While it's not the best remaster, I'm not really complaining too much because it's free and the original versions are still there, untouched. We're also seeing similar efforts for games like Dying Light, which is seeing a remaster level patch coming soon that's even coming out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Bear in mind, the Xbox One has been discontinued for about 5 years now, but they're still doing that. That is the legacy support that I like to see with games, and I wish Space Marine 1 Mastercrafted Edition could deliver. I mean, what else is there to say about this other than thanks Sega for delivering another terrible remaster of a game I like? I mean, first it was Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne in 2021, where it still has the original compressed audio, the sensitive changes, graphical effects have been ruined, and it's £45 off sale? Bear in mind I can go on the PlayStation 3 Classic Store and get the original for £8 or about $10 in the US. It's ridiculous. And then later after that we have the Persona 3 Portable Remaster, where the remastered edition of a PSP game has somehow worse audio quality than the original, and not to mention AI upscaled backgrounds that look terrible. And then, if you want to go even further, we have the entire remake situation where, before releasing Persona 6, we received Persona 3 Reload, which is a terrible and insulting remake, but that's a topic for another video. And now we're getting Persona 4 Revival. Are we actually ever going to get Persona 6? Ever? Really? We're going to see a Persona 5 remake before we get Persona 6. If you want a report on how terrible this game is doing, its all-time peak has been 56 players, its current 24-hour peak has been 9, and 3 people are currently playing the game, and they're all probably in the campaign and not really leveraging any of the benefits, such as crossplay. It's just been an absolute dumpster fire. In comparison, the original Space Marine, well, now Anniversary Edition, has 140 players playing at an absolute peak, and 74 people are playing right now. Yeah, it's nothing incredible, but it is a massive, massive number over the remastered edition, and it's just embarrassing. One thing I will also note is the gameplay is thankfully exactly the same and has been untouched, which is a good thing, frankly. One change I'm really annoyed that they've made is that they have completely changed the color scheme for Grimskull's Warband. They were previously red in the original version, but now they've got a black color scheme. But it's not every orc. A lot of their vehicles and equipment, such as their ships, still have red highlights on them. I don't know why they made this change. Some people think that it's because, oh, well, red signifies that they're evil sons, and evil sons specialize in vehicular warfare, and there's not too many ground vehicles apart from, I guess, the drills that you occasionally see and killer cans. But I think it's a bit of a misunderstanding, because Relic likes just using the red color scheme for a lot of their glup shito orc warbands, and Grimskull's is no exception. I don't think Grimskull's is explicitly evil sons, but making him all of his armor black to align with, I guess, Goths. Sure, he has a bit more of a Goth fighting style, but then again, there are also orc commandos which are not very Goth at all. It's just a needless change. Thankfully, the Chosen of Nemroth are left untouched. They haven't been changed to Black Legion or anything like that. That would be really stupid, wouldn't it, Bolt Gun? So, if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for reaching the end of the video. This is my first proper YouTube video I've ever made. I had to learn editing software, audio software, recording software, just all kinds of stuff for this. It's been admittedly not rocket science, but it was still a bit of an effort for me. I want to thank my friends though, who are already YouTubers, who helped me and guide me through the process and give me some tips and tricks. It's been really helpful. Thank you, dude. You know who you are. But yeah, I guess like, comment, and subscribe, or whatever the algorithm dictates you to do. And I hope to see you in another video.
Bitch! I wish she'd scream into the megaphone onto my dick. Get hard! Right? It's just like, oh, well, I mean, hey, yup. She screamed into the mic.
Thank you, Chaz. Very cool.